I know you're lying. I know you're lying. My mic was not recording. Okay, so that was a little bit of a disappointment. Welcome to a spiritual sip with Val. Today I am sipping on some water. I actually did have tea earlier. I had a raspberry leaf with some other herbs. I can't remember. It was already made and it's specifically to help the menstrual cycle. Thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? How are you doing today? I can't hear you respond, so I'd love to hear in the comments how you're doing. But I just kind of wanted to talk about something that I brought up in my last video, which is connecting to spirit and feeling like you've lost that connection to spirit. Or let's just say you're a tarot reader or some sort of energy worker in some way, or just a human being going through life, and you're like, oh my God, I can't hear spirit anymore. It's gone. And I laugh and I chuckle a little bit, not because I think it's funny, but it's just something I've experienced before. The way that I have connected to the divine has shifted and changed completely from the start to now. From when we're children and we have so much access versus when we become teenagers and our access starts to minimize because there's so much external noise. So I want to just talk about that feeling and also what you could do to get out of that idea and get out of that kind of funky feeling. Okay, so in this video I'm just going to talk about what works for me, and you can try it and see if it works for you. Okay, so let's kind of go back to when I was an adult and started accessing or acknowledging my higher divinity, or just being more than just a little human being, just clueless. I would say around like 2019-ish was when I started really becoming aware of, this inner Val and this like yearning to explore my spirit. And so I would use tarot. I would watch a lot of tarot videos because that's really the only way I kind of knew how to connect to the divine. At the time I was watching these tarot videos, and I was also still involved in my church at the time as well. I was in college. I loved church because of the connection I felt to this power, whatever this higher power was. I knew that I felt such a strong presence when I was in church. There's a lot of things I don't agree with, in the church, and there's a lot of things I didn't agree with back then. But I knew that I loved God, and through scripture, I would always feel like I was receiving messages. So I had this devotional, and I will just never forget, like, it was a 365 day devotional. So there was a devotional for every day. And so I was doing the devotional every day, and then I was like, I don't want to do it every day. And then so I would put it away, and then I would pick up the devotional months later, literally months later. And so I wouldn't skip like days. I would go to wherever I left off. And that specific devotional was exactly what I needed to hear. It freaked me out because I'm like, I put this down for months. If I were to do this every day, it wouldn't hit the same because I didn't need that message then. I needed it now. So that would just freak me out because I'm like, how did God, what? It was so crazy. So, and then I started understanding what synchronicities were and started seeing angel numbers. Something out there is trying to communicate with me. I see this. I decided to really get into tarot and start reading tarot and using it as a form of divination, but also a form of connecting to whatever this was that was communicating with me. And I just started just really expanding on this connection. I would be going outside a lot. I felt really connected to the earth, really connected to everything. Those moments when you first awaken are the most powerful. And I still have powerful moments today, but I just remember how in awe I was that Spirit was communicating with me. And what I call Spirit now, I know, is just a larger portion of myself communicating with myself, is how I see it. The way I used to connect before was I had really strong claircognizance, and I still do, but back in the day it was different. I would receive just like, it's like my crown was just wide open and receiving so much information. So I had this claircognizance, this clairaudience that was really strong before, that would guide me for readings. I would just be able to, like I was saying in the last video, I just had ideas. These weren't ideas that I was just sitting down trying to conjure up to make. I had to make these videos, and I had to get these ideas out because they were so divinely guided. And then I would also write a lot. Writing and reading tarot was the biggest avenues for the divine to work through me. And then one day it just changed. It was really kind of when I moved back home, everything kind of changed. Now, I will say it's likely that everything changed because I'm in a new environment, and I'm in an environment that I don't always feel the most comfortable in. So I believe that's a reason why my connection and the way that I connect started to shift and change. And I would always think that I had done something wrong, or that I needed to reconnect in the same exact way that I used to. So I'd go to the park and just sit down trying to get the messages back again, and all these things. It just wasn't the same. I write still, and that's still very powerful for me. So that's still a way I connect, but the motivation is not the same as it used to be. Something told me to pay attention to my YouTube videos and what I've been looking for and searching, and being aware that I am guiding myself to this information. So the downloads I'm receiving isn't the same, but I'm receiving so much beautiful information and videos and these teachers and these books. And so I was called to understand and realize that this is the way that I'm able to access information now. And you can watch like a 3-hour video and not really understand what's going on, or some of these lectures are really long, but there would be specific parts that speak so loudly. And I was told that this is for me. This is from me. Not just because it's not coming through in an clairaudience or claircognizant way. This is still from me, which was very impactful to me. And so that idea that we've done something wrong, or the divine wants space from us, and I think I've even heard somebody say that before. I don't really think that it exists. I don't really think it can exist, because we're a unit. There's no way for us to really separate ourselves unless we completely denounce the idea and the fact that we are spiritual beings. So I challenge myself in those times to explore that belief that if you're not doing one thing, that you are not spiritual, or if you're not receiving information or guidance in the way that you think that you should, that you're cut off from spirit, whatever spirit means to you. Everything can be guidance as well. When the way that I've been connecting with myself and the divine feels like so natural and feels so like kind of overwhelming, because it's like, just wow, this is powerful. When that changes to I don't want to do that anymore, or I feel forced to do this, that's a sign for me to explore other things around me, right? Because there is something in my space that is going to reflect what I need and give me the answer that I need if I'm searching for an answer, whether that's in a dream, whether that's in a book that I have, whether that's through just time alone, whether that's through music. There's some way that the connection is always appearing. For me, this could look like working on a project that I put down a while ago and it never finished. That sounds really simple and easy. But I think we can find a lot of ourselves and a lot of greatness in some of the projects that we've started and didn't finish. I don't know why that message is coming up. Maybe you have a project that you started and you haven't finished, and you might want to go back and look into it. Maybe I want to do that too. But that's I feel really strong about that right now. And that could be because, or there's a need for you to look at your work. Look at the things that you've done, and look at the things that, if you're an artist, that you've created, because there's something about you reconnecting with yourself in the beauty of what you are and what you've done. It's really helpful going back and looking at work that I've already done, because it's like re-inspiring. So, when we don't feel that inspiration anymore, it can feel like we have disconnected from spirit, which is really interesting, because then I'm like, inspiration is spirit, eh? Another way is meditating. Anything that gets you in a state of relaxation and allowing the body to find a calm. Okay, and then I'm getting rest as well, finding time for rest. And I know not all of us may have that opportunity, but where and when you have it, take it. Also, going back to the inner child, finding something that the inner child loved could almost even have an instant impact on you. There's something about the inner child and the connection that we've always had with spirit as children, and the things that we loved to do, the things that we loved to imagine when we were children. Reconnecting with that inner child, that play, reconnecting with play, being playful, being childish. And as adults, we just have all these limitations of what we feel like we can and can't explore or do, because we have to be a certain way. We are adults. And it's like, no, you better play. Okay? Play is a way to be re-inspired, and it's a way, and it is a sure as heck way to connect with the spirit. My spirit loves to move. My spirit loves dance. So if I feel like disconnected from myself, I know that I need to move. I need to play. I need to get out of my room, get out of the house, get into the sun, just do something different. Which is my next thing, doing something different. For me, like, reading tarot is something that I love. So I was like, okay, I need to read tarot differently. There was a time I was like, I can't read tarot anymore. I don't know how to read the cards. And it's like, no, you know how to read the cards in the way you know how to read the cards. You change it up. You switch it up. You don't have to go by the meanings. You don't have to go by the textbook definitions of all these cards. You better make up your own definitions. And when I say make it up, you better connect with these cards and really find out what they're trying to tell you, because that's a whole nother message, but tarot can be really surface level, and I feel in my spirit, my soul, that it goes so deep. And so there's so much that we can learn on our own through these cards. There's so much that we can learn on our own through the symbology that's going to vary from person to person. We're all going to view the relationships of the card so differently. So that's something that is really special and important for me to explore. If you're in a job where you do the same thing all the time, do something different for the day. Go on a different path driving. Do something different. Switch up your energy. Wear something different. Wear something that you like. I'm sure you have some suggestions. I would love to hear them in the comments below. What do you do when you feel the need, when you feel like you'd like to deepen your connection with the divine or with yourself? What is something that you like to do? The way that we connect with spirit is so unique to us, and I think that's important for me to address and share that a lot of if you just look up ways to connect to the divine, it can be very cliche or very surface level, aesthetically spiritual. And I'm here to tell you that that just isn't the case, right? And that literally anything you do with the intention of connecting to spirit is going to allow you to connect to spirit. Anything. So I can give you some tips right now, but literally you could do anything. I want you to be as authentic and unique to yourself as possible when it comes to exploring your spirituality in general, because I think we can get stuck on what spirituality is supposed to look like, and then in turn create a false idea of ourselves and what we believe spirituality to be and what we believe even spirit to be. I just want to give you some encouragement and to have faith that whatever ways that you feel called and inspired to connect with spirit, no matter how weird or random and it doesn't look like how everybody else is doing it, that's probably a good thing. Honestly, make it unique. Do what you gotta do, right? Don't even worry about don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what he's doing. Don't worry about what she's doing. Worry about what you're doing. Okay? And you might be feeling like you're doing something wrong because it doesn't look like what everybody else is doing, right? No, you got it. Have more faith in your ability to be divine. That's where I'm going to leave the video today. I hope that you enjoyed. Tell me what your thoughts are on, what's happening when you feel like, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Excuse me. I'd love to hear what you are thinking about this. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, peace. Bye. It's never quiet, right? If you really listen, you will hear and you will find something. Okay? It's like, what are you looking for though? And what are your ears, your spiritual ears tuned to finding and tuned to listening for. The divine has never left your side, okay? And the way that we think and view divinity and spirituality is going to vary from person to person. But you are the divine, period. You are. You are spirit. Deepening your connection with yourself also deepens and strengthens your connection with the divine, with spirit, with God, whatever it is that you call it. This knowing, this intuition, this thing is always there. You have more power than you might believe you do. You have more power and control and accessing and saying, I want this or I don't want this, than you might believe, than I might believe.